Mr. Banner, Bruce, you did it.
Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your host Carl Charles. Like we referenced in our last video episode, it ran kind of over because we didn't know how long it was going to be. So this is part 2 of our discussions on Mark Millar and Brian Hitch's Ultimate from 2002. And yes, there's more to this train wreck, but I hope you enjoy and catch you guys at the end. Woo! Then we move on to issue 7. Which is called...
Which, by the way, I would say at this point of the team, right, the members are... So, Hulk... Hulk not likable, right?
Yeah.
Ant-Man, Giant Man, not likable at all, right?
Yep.
Janet Pym as well, even though she's the victim of this, she doesn't come off likable either.
Yeah.
Right? Fury being a manipulator.
Yeah.
Betty Ross being some sort of attention seeker.
Yeah.
Tony Stark being a eccentric billionaire, but it's like he doesn't care about certain things, but you can see that he's like, you know what, yeah, we could do this for particular reasons,
yeah,
which makes sense. Captain America come off, he comes off a bit of a, I don't say like, yeah, someone that's been in the army a bit too long.
Yeah.
In that mindset where like, yeah, I'm not necessarily superior to everyone, but just like a little bit of a bully.
Yeah.
Ish.
Best
Sometimes.
way of putting it. Yeah.
Well, the way that he's written here is, yeah. As we were saying, Thor comes off the best because he's like, nah, I'll deal with my stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
But at this point, yeah, none of this team I can root for after this issue.
Nope. It doesn't get any better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for some reason, so moving to issue 7. For some reason, issue 7 doesn't have a title. But I think this is sort of like the break issue in between, if you know what I mean. So,
oh, no, isn't it called Homeland Security?
Is it? Oh,
isn't it?
I'm looking at it now. It has like no issue, like no.
Oh, okay.
So this episode is sort of the aftermath of everything. They're holding a funeral tribute thing for the people that died in a Hulk attack. Fury, Betty, Tony, Steve are there giving their condolences and stuff. Meanwhile, we see Janet getting rushed off the hospital. So back at the Triskelion, where Bruce is kind of being filled in by what happened, and also being bullied by some dude, Emil Bandke. Do you know who he is?
No, but if it was Emil Blonsky...
There we go. Yep, I said that wrong.
No, it wasn't him. It's not him, though.
Oh.
It's some other guy. But I'm just saying, if it was Emil Blonsky, at least it makes sense. Because you're like, all right, maybe he's going to be taking the DNA to make his own, be the abomination later on.
But
yeah,
I'm not too sure. So yeah, he's basically just telling what's going on, and then also rubbing it in saying like, yeah, you killed X amount of people. Hope you're happy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even like, you know, when when you got scientists speaking and they just separate their emotions from everything else and you just give them straight up facts.
Yeah.
No, this guy ain't doing that.
No, he's just being a dick. You're like, oh wow. So then back to
Eamon Brankin or something like that. That's it's called.
Because I was like, oh, that's not Abomination, because I know that's not his name, but
yeah.
And I think Abomination in this universe is a Chinese guy, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so then we're back in the city of New York. Fury and Betty are coming out of the memorial. Bucky and Gale see Cap and they start talking and saying, you need to come around more, you know. We're only friends. He's like, yeah, you know what? I will come spend more time with you. And then they're about to have another sort of conversation. Fury comes on and says, no, we need to talk to Captain America.
Yeah.
And this is where they all find out about what happened to Janet.
Yeah.
Because they're going to
Who
visit her in hospital.
somehow has gone big.
Yeah,
Right. So Hank's run off somewhere because they didn't find him at the crime scene yet.
yeah.
But Janet is not small
No,
anymore.
she was able to regrow because the doctor says that. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And they will basically, doctor basically says, yes, someone beat her because there's no way she would be like this.
Yeah.
And she's got bites on her that are similar to ants. And they all kind of put two and two together, like, yep, that's Hank.
Yeah.
And
And then they're like, how did they find her when she was small?
yeah.
But like you said, they answered that question because they're like, so she must have got bit while she was small because no giant, we would have, there's no ants that have mouths that size.
Yeah. And then we go to Empire Cafe or whatever it is, Empire Diner, and they're basically just, this when Betty brings up, oh yeah, Hank has hit her before, but I thought I wouldn't tell anyone because,
Yeah, exactly.
And even Tony pulls her off and is like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That's a terrible friend,
Yeah.
And why this is all going on, like, basically, Tony's, like, giving like, Betty the stick, like, dude, you should have said something, sort of thing. Tony's just, not Tony, Steve's really quiet. And you're like, oh, he's probably plotting something.
Yeah. Well, at first, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell it doesn't sit well with him.
Yeah.
And then we go back at a Triskelion, and Thor is flying in to have a meeting with Fury.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're briefly introduced to Black Widow and Hawkeye, who are about to go and do some Black Ops stuff. And he's like, oh, do you need any help? I'm like, no, we'll be fine. He's like, you sure? I can give you one of the heavy hitters. They're like, no, we're cool. Whatever. So then Thor comes in, him and Fury have a conversation. And he's basically saying, I'm only doing this because I'm friends with Tony. They're like, okay, cool. And they're like, but we know Tony's going to be late, but where's Steve? He's never normally late. And then we go to this satellite room, and Steve is using the computer to find out where Hank's last location is. And then he finds out and he goes, hey, transport, I need a helicopter. Dun, dun, dun. So, yeah, issue 7.
Yeah.
It's a little break issue. So, oh, okay. It's going to ramp back up to 11 in a minute, anytime. So,
Yep.
we move on to issue 8. I keep forgetting how long this actual story was. Because when you read it, it's like a bit quick, but going through it, bloody hell. And then issue 8 is called The Expert, sorry. So, it starts with Hawkeye and Black Widow walking down the street looking like Neo and Trinity from The Matrix.
Yeah.
And this scene alone, for some reason, reminded me of The Boys. Like, the first picture you see them two together. Like, in The Boys comics, that's how it kind of reminded me of the art in that.
Yeah.
The earlier ones. So, they're staking out this building. They got, like, everyone... Other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents got eyes on it. So, they walk through and... Hawkeye's like, oh, I've got an appointment with this person. And he goes, oh, and then the receptionist goes, no, you don't, because your name's not on here. He goes, have you even checked? He goes, no, I know everything. So then, somehow, within a second, Hawkeye pulls out a bow and shoots him in the head. As you do.
Yeah.
And then he just starts killing everyone with arrows. And they're like, oh.
Yeah. I'm like, what? All right.
Okay.
There's no context here. You just...
Yeah. You're like, oh, okay, sure. So then they secure the lobby, and then loads of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents come in. He carries on just shooting people. And then helicopters come, break through. They start killing people on the top floors. You're like, no content. What's going on?
Yeah.
And then, And then Black Widow breaks in.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. She starts killing people. You're like,
yeah.
Yeah, like you said before, there's no content. You're like, they're just going to a building wiping out people. What is like the whole point of this? And then we get to a point where they find a room, and one of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents is like, hey, this dude is holding something. Why is he holding it? And then you look, and it's a timer. It blows up half the building, and Natasha's like, Hawkeye, you okay? And we see Hawkeye hanging onto a beam, holding another person. He's like, I survived the explosion, which makes no sense to me. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
comics. And I think we didn't kill all these people, and they're about to come and kill me, so I need help. So the helicopter Overwatch is like, we can't get a good shot because there's stuff in the way, apparently. I don't know. So Black Widow's like, okay, give me 30 seconds or whatever, I'll get up there and I'll save you. And she's like, Hawkeye's like, oh, you better hurry up. And she's like, okay, guy in helicopter, throw a rifle in a couple of seconds. They're like, wait, why? She's like, just trust me, I know what I'm doing. And I don't know if she has super speed, because there's a bit where she looks like she's running super fast.
Well, here's the thing. They say she's got some enhancements. I don't know if her suit has enhancements or she's physically enhanced at this point. They didn't clarify.
I think they do later on in another comic, but whatever. Yeah. So she jumps out a window, catches the rifle, and shoots up everyone, and saves Hawkeye. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's cool. I guess. And then we're back at the Triskelion. Fury's got all the troops together, and they're introducing Ford and Tony to Hawkeye and Black Widow, and also the Maximoff twins, who were a part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, but are now a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. because of money, apparently.
Yeah.
And then there's weird indentations about their relationship.
Well, no, not quite yet. It gets worse later on.
You know what? This is what I think.
Yeah.
Originally, they weren't meant to be like that, and then they just kind of weirdly shoehorned that in.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because Mark Miller, as we, he's not particularly subtle, but he was subtle with this, because he was like, yes, but he was playing it as though it's a nod, just nice wink joke on the side that you don't have to, you can pretend isn't there.
Yeah.
Except later on, of course. Yeah.
It gets worse.
But I do like where it looks like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch don't do jack at all to help, except that when they say, when you slow down the video cameras,
you can see that we've done this. You're like, okay, sure. And it comes into play later on, which I thought was quite funny as well.
Yeah.
And then, so they're doing all that, and Hawkeye's like, no offense to these guys, but, I thought Captain America would be here. I'm not stuck with these 2-bit losers, sort of. He says that in a nicer way. And Fury's like, well, we don't actually know where Captain America is, but we think he's in Chicago. Who knows? Yeah. And then this is where they throw in aliens. Kind of out of nowhere. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, when Hitler was around, he they was getting helped by these 8-foot tall reptile alien things called Tatari.
But we did not mention it at all throughout the 8 issues until now, even though they technically were part of issue 1.
Yeah. You're like, okay. Yeah. Sure. And even then, that's when Tony Stark is like, oh my god, so there's aliens and no one's ever said anything, but just bring us up now. Yeah. And Fury's like, oh, there's 8 different species of aliens on Earth right now, but this is the only one that ever is bringing us trouble. Like, things you should explain to people way ahead of time. You're just not dropping on them out of nowhere. But sure, okay. Yeah. And then Fury shows them a body of one that they captured from the 1940s, and it's all mangled and stuff. And they want to show Cap, but yet again, they don't know where Cap is. And then Fury gets a message from the security team saying, we found Cap, he's in Chicago. And then Fury kind of puts 2 and 2 together, and he figures out that he's going after Hank Pym. So he's like, tell Cap not to hurt him whatsoever. So then we go into the bar and we see Cap, and he puts his hand on Pym's shoulder saying, hey, Pym, I got a word for you. I need to have a word with you, and it ends there. Yeah, you're like, oh, someone's going to get beat. Yeah. Then we move on to issue 9. Which is, again, this one doesn't have a title. Yeah. Which is really weird. So we'll just call it Man Beaten.
No. Captain America versus Giant Man, right? I guess If we're gonna go find the
Yeah,
the
Captain America
titles
versus Giant Man. Because literally, this is what it is. So it starts with Steve with his hand on Hank's shoulder, saying, "Yeah, we watching Hank, and if you're interested in," and it just happens to be Hank Pym watching the news, telling everyone that he's a scumbag, and
yeah, he's on the run.
yeah, he's on the run. Why would you watch this? Sorry, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
In a public place as well.
Yeah.
Oh, so then Captain America's like, yeah, we need to go outside and talk. And Pym's like, no, just Cap, hear me out. He's like, no, come and fight me, big boy. You know, what's it like to fight someone your size? And then slap.
Yeah.
And he goes, turn big so I can like justify me kicking the crap out of you, basically.
Yeah.
Then Hank turns big, throws him through the building, like through the pub, and is like, is this big enough for you, moron? And then Steve just continues to beat the crap out of Hank Pym while he's tall. Yeah. Literally, it's like, why is he on the team? So at this point.
Well, to be fair though, he did manipulate. I think he took his time to scout the area they were going to fight in beforehand.
Yeah.
So he deliberately made him turn big because he's fighting him in a construction site.
Yeah.
So
I was like, ooh.
Yeah, smarts. Fair enough.
It's smarts.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you'll never be on the team because you're going to spend the next 3 months in traction, and like drops loads of metal
Pipes, right?
Pipes on Hank while he's big, and like
the concrete whatever, right?
Yeah, concrete pipes and just like basically he doesn't crush him but breaks lots of bodies.
Yeah.
And then
he's like basically, that's what you get, bitch. That's what you
basically.
get.
How do you feel now, dirtbag? How big do you feel? And like, oh, okay. So then the SHIELD agents come, sort of can't break up because the fight's over. So then they go back to the Triskelion, and Betty's telling Bruce about what happened, and Bruce is basically just laughing about it. He's like, he kind of deserved it. He always knew he was a piece of trash, sort of thing. Yeah. And then again, Bruce tries his luck with Betty, and she kind of accepts his apology in a way, and kind of accepts that she's kind of to blame for it, and they sort of seem equitable at this point. So, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then we're back to we end the Iron Man test lab, and they're getting his suit ready for a mission I think they're going on.
Yeah.
And this is where we see Natasha and Tony Stark's flirting.
Yeah.
And she explains to him, like, you need to take this a bit more seriously. He's like, nah, it's alright, I'm going to die soon because of my brain tumour, so I'll die doing something kind of good. And she's like, nah, dude, you need to take this seriously. Look at Hawkeye. Before every fight we go into, he calls up his girlfriend and kids and says goodbye. And
Exactly.
Tony's like, that's morbid, isn't it? He's like, no, it's not. You're all going to die. So then he kind of explains his armor and stuff and how he's got to have some force field put into his new armor, which comes into play later. And that's basically it. And she goes, you need to stop drinking before you're going to fight. He goes, nah, who climbs into a battle sober? And you're like, oh,
yeah,
that's pretty weird.
Yeah.
And then we get Steve going into the hospital to visit Janet, where he's like, oh, okay, just come to see you, hope you're doing fine. And then she kind of tries to put the blame on him for everything that's happened.
Yeah.
And kind of sympathizing with Hank in a way. You're like, oh, wow, this is a lot deeper than it should be,
This is one messed up relationship.
Yeah.
Like, you beat up Hank, I was like, wow.
Janet. Yeah. And he's like, what makes you think it's okay to beat him up? You come here to flex and show you're better than him, trying to woo me over. He's like, no, it's just I don't like women beaters basically, and I just did what is right. But sure, whatever. And she says she's leaving the team. She wants to get far away from all this stuff. He's like, okay,
far away from you. I'm like, what?
Should
you be trying to get far away from the guy who beat you up?
Yeah. It's like okay, sure, all right. Maybe he went a bit too far by kicking the crap out of him, but still, he got what was coming to him.
Yeah.
But sure, okay. So then she tells him to leave and take the gifts he brought. He's like, no. To the nurse, like, no, you know what, keep them. Bye, Janet. And she just ends up crying, like, oh.
Yeah. This woman's got,
issues
a bit
to deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
So then he goes to meet Fury and the rest of the Ultimates while they're heading off on a mission to, I can't remember what it is, Micro Arena, something, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And as they're about to go, Fury's like, yeah, it's only us. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver bailed on us. They haven't said why, just can't find them. Apparently, she has a chest infection. And then Tony says something very, and would be classed as sexual harassment nowadays.
Go on, give it. You mentioned it. You might as well give it.
Yeah. Because Fury goes, oh, she's got a chest infection. And Tony says, I've seen Wanda's chest, and I'm happy to give her all the sick pay leave as she wants. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like,
right?
dude.
I don't know if... Yeah.
Yeah. So then they all head off to wherever they might be going. 4 teleports, which is pretty cool. Which I find hilarious later, but, you know. So then Black Widow and Hawkeye walk in. And like, yep, we're going, coming. And they still don't believe that a Thunder God is teaming up with them to fight an alien. And Captain America's here's too, this is crazy. And Nick Fury goes, it's kind of cool, isn't it not? Now let's get to work. And you have like an action shot of them getting ready to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, this is ramping up to something. And now it's issue 9. Now we're going to go into issue 10. To be fair, the next 3 issues are kind of just like you speed through.
Yeah.
Issue 10 is called Devil in Disguise. And it starts with Captain America in 1944 in Poland, hanging off the side of a tank.
But by the way, let me just point out. Let me show the way. They got to issue 10 of the story to set up the end villain of the arc.
Yeah.
Of a 13 issue story, you know?
Yeah. So he's fighting some German general, or can't remember the German word for it is anyway. And he's like, haha, Captain America, this scar you gave me is nearly healed. This fleshy body is crap, basically. Ha ha ha. And we're going to blow up London with this train. And then we'll take over the world. Germany will be all this. And then Captain America's like, ha ha ha. No, you're not. And then he's like, what? And then for some reason it shows lots of panels of dynamite put on this train.
Yeah, Cap's like, so you think we're trying to stop you blowing this train up? Nuh-uh.
We've come here to blow it up.
Down right here.
Yeah, so then...
You're not even going to make it to your destination.
Then he says, tell Hitler thanks for making such a big deal about a train running on time. Get it? Because Germany's whole thing is time. They like everything running on time. Ha, ha, ha. So then he jumps off the train and the guy's like, shoot him. He falls into the river and then the German commander says something in alien, which translates to, oh my god, and it blows up the train. And then we see 12 months later in Marrakesh, Captain America talking to some generals. This part in Marrakesh, I'll be honest with you, I didn't understand what happened. I was confused. He's just talking to people about the alien dude, and then someone asks him if he wants a Coke, and if he wants ice in it, he says no ice. So I get the joke is that he becomes an icicle later, but the other bit I didn't understand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why did they go to Marrakesh or Morocco or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, why? Yeah.
I was like, okay. I had to read it twice. I still don't understand what's going on, but whatever. So then we go back to modern day, and they're on their helicarrier flying to Micronesia. Okay. Cap's just looking out the window, and Fury's like, "What's wrong, Cap?" And he's like, "Oh, everything's fine. I'm just doing my thing. We're going to fight in a battle. Great times." And then you see the whole fleet of like shield heli carriers
Yeah.
with planes. Oh, okay, cool. Then we go back to the sick bay at the Triskelion, and Janet's walking around like, "Hello, where is everyone? Hello."
Yeah.
And she notices that the hospital's empty. She's really confused by it. She's like,
Yeah, because it's meant to be a hospital or a medical facility or whatever,
yeah. And she's like, "Oh, I'm confused by this." And then
Yeah.
she finds one of the nurses. Goes, "Hey, I've been hitting my buzzer for a while. No one's answering, so I thought I'd come and have a look. I'd like some water." And then she's getting funny vibes from it, like, what's going on? The nurse is like, "Oh no, don't worry. We'll take you back to your room and we'll get you the water." She's like, "Okay," but while I'm up, we'll go to the bathroom. She's like, "No, it's fine, go back to your room."
Yeah.
And you see one of the nurses with a gun behind her, and then as Janet's about to go into her room, she kind of looks back and sees there's no one there.
Yeah.
And then she kind of clocks like, "Oh." So she turns to a wasp. The nurse shoots the other nurse in the back of the head. And then we find out they're all aliens, or the Chitauri, whatever they want to be called. And then Janet flies away, and they're like, shoot her, we gotta find her. So she flies into the vents. Then we're at Micronesia at 6 o'clock local time. And the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and Captain America are storming towards this factory. Thor's already there. And he's like, Fury, why did you tell me to come here? And he's like, what do you mean? Like, it's been deserted for months. I teleported here before you guys did recon. There's no one here. And Fury's like, nah, I don't believe you. You're chatting crap.
Yeah. Why don't I believe you? Because you're a hippie, right?
Yeah.
You're a hippie. You're a drunkard. You're all these other petty things. You're like,
It's like,
right.
Why would he lie about that? But
Yeah.
sure, okay, whatever. And then Iron Man comes flying and goes, nah, he's telling the truth. I've done scans. Nothing's here. The psychics you're using to find all this information have been lying to you because there's nothing here.
Yeah.
And then
it was like, no, there is something here. It's a nuke. It's going to kill us all.
yeah. So he sends all the men in, and you're like, why don't you just listen to the two guys who have powers tell you that? But alright, sure. So back to the Triskelion, we got some of the aliens in army suits looking for Janet, and she makes it to the satellite room, and she's trying to contact Fury and the rest of them, saying, all the aliens are here. You guys need to come back. It's a trap.
Yeah.
It's a trap. And they can't. All they're hearing is static. Don't worry. And then Cap kind of clocks what's going on. And then as all the people go into the building, the nuke goes off and it wipes out, we think everyone, but it's not everyone. And then Janet's still back in the satellite room, and then the screens say offline. She's like, oh my god. It was the psychics. They've been on it as well. They've been giving us wrong information. And then some dude comes. Again, this doesn't... how this is executed is weird, because you're like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
He goes, you got onto our plan, Janet. That's quite correct. We're basically going to kill you.
So basically, they just used the rest of this issue to fill in story.
Yeah.
So they trap her. No, they catch her in the comms room, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no evidence or anything, she can't escape.
Yeah.
She tries to, she's like, oh, F you, Kraut. Tries to stinger them, tries to go and
that's not.
Oh, right.
We're getting to that.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Because it just has his face, but obviously you don't know who. At the end, the issue ends with his face. You're like, but who is this?
Yeah. Except that it looks like Robert Carlyle.
Yeah. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. And then, issue 11.
Yeah.
Is a bit what you're talking about, which is called The Art of War. So basically say what you just said if you want.
You just fill in her the entire story, basically, that they did not even get to write beforehand,
Yeah.
Just telling her, oh yeah, so we're invading to this, that, and the other, Finally, I mean, like, maybe 2 issues before the end of the series, we're going to be like, here's the plan all along. Even though it's just like, when you have to basically stop it in a story dead in its tracks to explain something, you clearly missed something.
Yep.
Beforehand.
It was so weird.
Yeah. So basically, nothing much happens except the guy, the general, telling her, Janet, we've done this, we've infiltrated that. Why you didn't find us for so long is because we went into hiding after World War II, and then and why we're so millions of us because we just hidden bread and bread.
Yeah.
Because you know, when you got 60 years to do nothing but think of invading, you just start pumping up troops.
Yeah, you're like, I kind of get that. But sure, I guess.
And then basically this whole issue is she gets put in a test tube,
Yeah.
right? And this guy explaining exactly what they are, what's going on, how they're planning to do what, and where have they been since.
Yeah.
And then saying how we get into people's bodies is we assimilate them. And then he looks at her in the test tube and goes, you know what? I've never experimented with a female form before. And she's like, oh, damn. Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah. And then it just basically ends. Basically, that's literally all that this is. Nothing else.
Yeah.
And the last 2 pages is where they ain't dead. They were teleported somewhere. Like the Ultimates and the Shield agents, they all didn't die. They got teleported somewhere by 4, and now they're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a little bit of a fight to end up this issue. And then...
Well, and Cap gets to some speaker or something like that. Your country needs you, yeah?
Oh, that's... Not yet. No.
Hey, okay, go.
But basically, yeah, so he gets to an aeroplane and he goes, yeah, no, you're right, yeah. And he goes, oh, yeah, your country needs you because he hijacks a plane.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And that's issue 11.
Yeah.
A pointless issue. Not even bad.
Well, no, look, they should have got parts of this and spread it. That actually had story progress it to this point.
Yeah.
Let's say the point of issue 6, after issue 6, right? Even issue 6 itself was not exactly necessary, right?
No.
So you could have just adjusted things across.
Yeah.
You know, started bits and pieces of the story from issue 6 onwards, and then you don't have to fill in the information.
Yeah.
Or you know, just like hold on a second, dead stop. You know, and then everyone's just reading chunks of dialogue for the next. Yeah.
Yeah. And then issue 12, the penultimate issue.
Yeah.
Is called Persons of Mass Destruction. This literally is just a fight.
Yeah.
Yep. It starts with, you see 4 ripping through planes, and crowds are saying, oh yeah, get them all, we're going to kill them. And then this is where Captain America flies a plane through him.
Yeah.
Jumps out, and it hits a tanker and explodes.
Yeah.
And then Cries is like, Rawr, I've got to kill you, Captain America. So they fight for a bit.
Yeah.
It's a bit even for a tiny bit. And then Krauser gets the upper hand. And okay, cool. This is fun.
Yeah.
And then we see Hawkeye just mowing down people in a car, telling Black Widow, who somehow has found Janet, not explained ever.
Yeah.
And they're going through the Triskelion, trying to get to find out where a bomb is. Again, don't really explain it.
Yeah.
Hawkeye nearly gets killed from a wing of a plane because Thor is just tearing planes apart and throwing them down to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Tony's like, it's not me, it's Thor, you know, he's just wrecking crap. So
yeah.
Hawkeye's like, just be careful. Thor does some Omega lightning beam thing, and he's like, Tony, you need to leave. He's like, why? He goes, you'll see. And then he just does some Omega lightning thing, destroying loads of the Chitauri planes.
Yeah.
And Nick Fury's getting a boner over it. It's like, oh, sweet mother of God. I never thought this guy was supposed to be... I thought this guy must be a pacifist, and feels like a pacifist with a big scary hammer general. Oh,
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So then we're back to seeing Chrysler and Captain America fighting.
Yeah.
And Fury sees it in the distance. Chrysler's about to rip off Captain America's head and eat it so he can become Captain America.
Yes,
you do.
Yeah.
So Fury uses some invisible tech to shoot Chrysler in the head, and Chrysler's like, "You think a bullet head's gonna stop me? You fool!" And he starts beating up both of them. And then, meanwhile, Tony Stark's in his Iron Man suit is able to stop one of the Chitauri planes ships, crashing into a city.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool, but makes no sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
because that means that suit is like god level strong to be able to move something that big. But sure,
Yeah.
So then he lands and he's like, "Yeah, I survived, but we need medical because I think I'm dying." sort of thing.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, your suit's out of power. I was like, yep, and I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done with all this. And then someone's like, if you don't win the fight, if you don't carry this on, who can? And he's like, looks around and sees all the people. He's like, you know what? I'm still in this fight. Hook me up to the local local energy supply, and I'll recharge my suit. So I'm take out half the energy of the city, but it'll be fine. So he does that, flies off. Well, he flies off. Before that though, he sees a kid, and the kid gives him a a thumbs up. And Tony's like, you know what? I'm doing it for the kids. So he flies off, and then the soldiers like, better him than us, huh? Yeah, tell me about it. And then one of them pushes the kid. I was like, really?
You people are, like, you know, dicks.
Yeah, well, that's a bit OTT, but all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Shock value. And then they're back in a Triskelion with Black Widow and the Wasp, and they found They found a group of the Chitauri. Have killed most of them. They keep one alive because they want him to tell them how to stop the bomb. Yeah. He's like, I'm not gonna tell you. You guys are cancer, and this planet doesn't need you anymore. So then Black Widow shoots him, and Janet's like, dude, like, sorry, you weak stomach. She's like, no, I'm just wondering how we deactivate this thing without any help.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, trigger happy Black Widow. And you see Chrysler beating the crap out of Fury and Captain America.
Yeah.
And he says something to Captain like, now let's get back to business, Cap. The world was about to go up, and where you're about to surrender in this few brief moments we got left. Now you're gonna hear you say it. Surrender, Krauser. Make it quick. So then this is where Cap kind of like powers up and starts beating the crap out of him, saying, surrender, surrender. What do you think this letter on my head stands for? France?
And we're like, oh, come on. Now, here's the funny thing. If it was written by an American writer, you'd be like, oh, that's just over the top patriot. It's written by an English writer. So it's like, dude.
He got a lot of flack for that as well, you know. Yeah. I remember this. It was controversial at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Cap basically beats the crap out of his shield and cuts him in half.
Yeah.
And then they get told about the nuclear bomb that's about to go off. And for some reason, they have brought Banner in another helicopter. And they're like, okay, this is our plan B. Yeah. And the soldiers start just kicking the crap out of Banner, trying to get him to transform. He's like, dude, I'm hooked up on like antidepressants and stuff. I can't do anything. Yeah. So then they're like, okay, cool. Just throw him out the plane. That might do something.
Yeah.
So then they throw him out the plane.
And he's like, no, you're going to kill me. I'm going to die.
Yeah. And it ends there. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah. That's kind of like what they did in the Hulk movie.
The Incredible. Yeah. It was a neat sequence they took from here to do that, by the way.
Yeah.
But he willingly jumped out of the plane there.
Which was kind of...
And then they stalled a bit when he fell. And he's like, realizing he's not hooking up, and he goes, oh, crap.
Yeah. I like that bit. That was awesome. And then we move on to the final issue.
Yeah.
Issue 13, which is called How I Learned to Love the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it starts with the Hulk literally falling out of the sky. And Fury's like, oh god.
Yeah.
And then Cap's like, all units fall back, you know, our last resort weapons in play.
Yeah.
And Banner falls through like a hangar, but it explodes.
Yeah.
And Fury's like, how the hell does that? That's one head of a thump from a 97-pound biologist.
Yeah.
And then we see the Hulk come out, and he starts like smashing stuff.
Yeah. And Grey Hulk, of course.
Yeah, Grey Hulk.
Yeah.
And then Cap's and Fury like, yeah, you need to go now. He's like, what? You need to go because stuff's about to go down.
Yeah.
And Kreiser's like, huh, noble to the last bit. Hey, Captain. And then Cap gives Kreiser some funny like look. And then just about as Kreiser's about to like smash Steve in the face, Hulk's like spears Steve and is like, Blue Man, you kick the crap out of Banner's face and you make Banner sad.
Yeah.
And then Captain America's like, no, listen to me, listen. You know that guy over there? You know what he did?
The naked guy.
The naked guy over there, he's told me he had his way with Betty and this whole time, and that will make you mad. And Hulk's like, what? No! And he goes off to Kreiser.
Yeah, he beats up Kaiser, and he goes. Kaiser has his hand all over Betty. Yeah. The Hulk will put his hands all over Kaiser, like Betty. Kaiser had his hands all over Betty. Kaiser think Hulk will find out. Hulk is smart. It's like, what?
Okay. I guess. So,
yeah.
Also, another bit they steal from this for the Avenger film is where he grabs Kaiser by the leg and just basically does what he does to Loki.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's cool. And then Hulk, Cap's like, all right, everyone sort of get away. You know, this is our last resort. Kreiser tries to like hit the Hulk with a lorry, and Hulk's like, no, stupid no, naked man.
Yeah.
Only stupid one here is you. And naked man went and made Hulk angry. So like, oh, okay, cool. Then we're back at the bottom of the Triskelion with Wasp and Black Widow still fighting Chitauri soldiers. So Black Widow is trying to figure out what to do. And Janet's like, maybe we should talk to Stark. He knows everything. No. Black Widow's like, hey, we should talk to Stark. He's got like many degrees, so he might know how to do this. Brilliant. So they try to reach Stark on the communication systems, but they accidentally interrupt something Hawkeye was doing, which leads for him to get shot in the shoulder. And then he chews them out by saying, dude, you need to get off of this because I got shot because of you guys. If you talk to Tony, you got to find another way. But Tony's listening and tell him to come and help. So he flies back to them, leaving Thor to destroy all the ships in the sky. But then they're helped by the US Army that Captain America did his arousing speech, which led them to come and help.
Yeah.
So back to Hulk kicking the crap out of Kreiser, saying, naked guy, you talk too much. You never shut up. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then Kreiser's like, well, my friend, it appears that you, congratulations. And before he's like to say you're in order, Hulk just rips his head off and says, shut up. Like, oh,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
I've had enough of you. Hulk's had enough of you.
So then some reinforcements come in and they fly over to where the Hulk is. And we see the Hulk eating Kreiser's head?
Something like that.
Yeah. Saying that he's the strongest there is and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then Captain America's like, attention, this is Captain America speaking again. Hey, Hulk, you see that spacecraft up there in the sky? The pilot in there earlier told me that he did stuff with... He called you a sissy boy.
Yeah.
And then Hulk's like, Hulk not sissy boy, Hulk straight. And we're like,
yeah.
Oh,
God. Yeah.
It doesn't age well.
No.
Uh.
But at this point, let me just interject with my headcanon theory. Okay, so you know how like they're saying the super soldier serum adjusts to whoever's inner demons, you know, or whatever it is, whatever you are on the internal, not the external. Now, this Steve Rogers, they've used his blood to augment the Hulk serum, yeah. And I'm thinking, right, so all this stuff that Steve thinks, you know, because he's calling all the soldiers ladies and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
It is also probably adjusted into this Hulk as well.
Yeah, but I've given them too much credit.
Okay, all right.
But I can see what you mean. I see what you mean. But
they just took, I was just gonna say, it took some, some of that stuff and kind of augmented with the Hulk stuff within Banner, and just just turned him into an overly, what's it called?
Insecure masculine man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something like
Yeah.
that.
I get it, but it's like, oh.
You don't think that's what they were going for?
No, I think they accidentally stumbled into that.
Okay, that's not what I thought when I first reading. I
Yeah.
didn't think that, but when rereading, I was like, you know what? Like now that I dislike this Captain America, but I can see where the traits are because they used the DNA and blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And then back to Black Widow and Wasp, who are now accompanied by Tony Stark. He's like, "Wow, I have no clue how to switch this bomb, but with no point wasting time because that's how you lose money." And they're like, "Okay, what are you talking about?" And he goes, "Okay, stand back. I need a little space." And then he lifts up like a whole room basically.
Yeah.
And he said like, "Hey, Thor, I need your help. I need you to teleport this bomb somewhere." And so Black Widow's like, "Wait, you stupid." Like, because she thought he was going to sacrifice himself. Like, why am I going to sacrifice myself? That's stupid.
Yeah. Why am I going to take this nuke into space or whatever? No,
Yeah.
Thor's got a hammer that can teleport stuff all around everywhere.
Yeah, she's like, "No, he can't do that. He has a teleportation device. He's probably going to send this to China or somewhere like that." And he's like, "No, don't be ridiculous. Thor's got powers. He can do this." And like,
He's a god. And Black Widow's like facepalm.
he's
He's
like,
a
"No,
mental
not."
patient.
Yeah. He was only a god 6 months ago because he had a mental breakdown, and now blah blah blah. He's gonna zap it to Narnia, and he's like, no. I trust him. He's fine.
Yeah.
And then Thor comes in and he goes, "Have little faith," and then he teleports the bomb somewhere else, and then Natasha's like, "Okay, well, we only got a couple more seconds left anyway, so Tony, you're an idiot, and thanks for killing us all." And then
Yeah. You used your last words to spite someone.
Yeah.
What a joker.
and then Thor appears back. Actually, wait, I forgot to mention a bit where was it later on where they allude to they had intercourse before.
Oh yeah, no, this is they just before that when he's taking the bomb out.
Yeah.
When Tony starts taking the bomb out and Black Widow thinks, you're gonna drop it into space and sacrifice yourself. She goes, "I will cherish the quick moment we had in the cleaning room."
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
Okay. Sure. All right. So then Thor comes back and says, "Yeah, I told you my powers are real. I took it to this place that has no one's lived there for years, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter."
Yeah, there's somewhere in Asgard, the Fanfare, the Dragon's Desert, whatever it is.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Oh, sure, whatever. We got 10 seconds left. I'm not bicker with you guys." And then nothing happens. And then Tony's like, "So what was he saying, Natasha?" She's like, "But that's impossible. I read your reports. Like, they're all classified intelligence. And seriously, Thor, how the hell did you do that?" And then Thor gives a little smile.
Yeah.
And then we are back. Then some helicopters come to pick them up, and they all get in the helicopters. And
Hulk is still destroying
stuff, yeah. And it's like, oh, he's doing his part.
Yeah.
So they're just watching, basically. And then, basically, the fight's over. And Fury's like, "Okay, we need to bring the Hulk back now,
Yeah.
So he asks Hawkeye to shoot with this arrow that's got a adamantium blade and it's got the serum in it. But Hawkeye's like, "I don't know if I can because, I'll try my best, but remember I got shot in the arm, so a bit crappy." So then the Hulk clocks onto what they're doing, starts destroying all like the helicopters.
Yeah.
And he's about to charge at the helicopter that Hawkeye's in, and he's managed to get the shot, but he thinks it doesn't work, and he's like, "Oh crap, Hulk's coming after me, oh no. And he jumps at him, and Hawkeye basically prays to God, like, "I'm gonna have to die. Get this lunatic off of me. Help me. And then he looks down, and Hulk's turned back to Banner, and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. And then all the soldiers in the plane are laughing at him, saying, "Who's gonna eat you? He's gonna eat you in his sleep because he's KO'd. Ah ha ha!" And then Hawkeye's like, "Shut up, you idiots! Let's see any of you make that shot."
Yeah, so that was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah.
So then they're all like sort of basking in their glory of the victory, and then we see Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver there.
Yeah.
And Black Widow's like, why you guys even celebrate? You didn't do anything. I was like, well, if you
Yeah.
look at the satellite pictures, you can see we did something. You saw on tape. She's like, you know what? Whatever. Here we go.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm done. Then we see Captain America vomiting. And one of the troops are like, yeah, Cap, thanks for psyching us up. You know, your wells helped us. You know, without you, we were able to do this. He's like, yeah, my pleasure, soldier. Just give me a second. And then he goes to see all the troops, give a salute, and Hawkeye's still basking in the glory, like what they've done. It's like, wow, I can't believe, you know, I've been to Kosovo, Afghanistan. I was there when the Belgian Wall went down, Berlin Wall, sorry, and we just took down some spaceships, and I fought against Nazis with gods and stuff. Things ain't black and white no more. And they're like, and Wasp was like, yeah, well, I guess that we are superheroes now.
Yeah,
and then after that, it's just little recaps, really, isn't it? Setting up.
And you know, like it's all clean up. Like, how are we going to spin this positively? How are we going to dissociate? We will always say that Banner and Hulk aren't the same because Banner's on the Ultimates as part of the science team, and Hulk has killed a mass of people, so he cannot. He's don't let the public know, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, and also what we got to do is Kai's got eaten by the Hulk, so every time Banner goes poop, we've got to
sit his poo out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then we get a little bit with Janet getting her hair done.
Yeah.
And then she gets a phone call from Hank trying to say sorry.
Yeah. And
then she kind of forgives him in a way.
Well, I don't want to talk about it, but you can see that it's like, oh no, they're gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna get back to what it was.
Yeah. The cycle's gonna continue.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which is very awkward.
Yeah.
And then they're at the White House having dinner with the president and stuff.
Yeah.
Steve kind of makes his move with Janet. He tries his luck sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she's kind of more open to him now. She's not being a dick to him.
Yeah.
And basically, that's it.
Yeah, it's Fury then sees that and he's like, yeah, it ain't every day we save the world. And he walks off down the... Are they in the Oval Office? They just walks down the corridor and then it closes out.
Yeah,
and I was like, right... I don't know if I call this a happy ending, but because damn these guys, I'm not sure if I want to ever see them again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I did find it. What I found kind of neat was, you know, where they say Thor's a mental patient and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Mortal Kombat Legacy did for their Raiden episode, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, they must have got it from here, kind of.
Yeah,
where
I think they did.
Get teleported to the mortal realm, and then everyone just like, I'm a god, and then like, no, you're not. You're crazy.
You're a nutcase.
Yeah. What I could say is overall at the time, I enjoyed it. Rereading it and rereading it again later on, you're like, the action's good.
Yeah.
The story's a bit like the first half of it's fine, where they go to fight the Hulk because there's like build.
Yeah.
Then the rest of it, there's no build for what comes up next.
It feels like rushed, the next part of it.
Yeah, exactly. When the action happens, it's cool. It's good artwork. The story is just not well put together at certain parts. And yeah, all these characters, all I can say is you guys need to, either you tone it, you adjust everything, dial it all up, right? And then it's a parody of everything and everyone can have a laugh.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not super serious, but then that makes a mockery of your team. Or you tone it down, but that doesn't seem like what they're doing either.
No.
I can see how it'd get notoriety, but ain't the right kind of notoriety.
No.
You don't want people picking up like the Ultimates and going, wow, Hulk hates... Hulk's... He can't control himself,
Yeah.
A weird character. This ain't the classic Savage Hulk, and Tony Stark doesn't care about the whatever. Thor's dissolute, separated himself from everything, and even though the team book has how they get together, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, even though how the Avengers, it kind of was copying how the Avengers originally got together. You know how they came together to fight Hulk, but because he was being tricked by Loki, whatever. All right, they kind of done that minus the Loki bit, but then it doesn't feel organic.
Yeah.
But it just I know a lot of people were saying, oh, they want the Ultimate Universe back.
Yeah.
I like the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
But I would like them to forget this part.
Well, here's the thing, right? Well, I like the Ultimate Universe, but mostly Ultimate Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
The rest of the Ultimates, they had their ups and downs as well.
Yeah.
But this one, as good as the art and action is, just does not it's not a very likable team at all. And I don't want to see any more of these people.
No.
Yeah.
Because later on they try to get some of the characters better, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's course correction.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like how when we have a look at the second volume of the Ultimates, we'll get to see how organic that is, I guess. But it's not. I don't want to say it has to be classic superhero heroics.
No.
What it is at least if the team's meant to be cool, fine, right?
Yeah.
But then take all the negative aspects of all these characters, and just
ramp it
go
up.
overboard with them.
Yeah. Because I remember liking Volume 2, the next part of it, but then it might not read the same reading it now.
Yeah. We'll have to have we'll have to have a look at the entire Ultimate run.
It's like I said earlier in this comic, in this review, like Ultimate Spider-Man, I remember that consistently being always good.
Yeah.
X-Men had its ups and downs.
Yeah.
But Ultimates, for me, looking back at now, just had downs.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Like I'm saying, all we can say is it looks good.
Yeah.
It's like that nice girl that looks good, but really crappy personality.
Yeah, pretty much. But it.
Yeah.
But speaking of, before you wrap up everything, did you ever watch the animated movie to this?
Yeah, I did. They toned a lot of it down.
Yeah, I think looking back at it now, that's the better version of this.
Yeah, and obviously the Avengers in 2012 is the much better version of this.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool. All right, yeah. So we wrap up and sign off. Yeah, this is a very yeah. There's so many. Yeah. Right. Well. Yeah.
I just can't.
There's many of things that. Yeah.
I see why this worked in that time. I can see why it worked in that time. Now, if you were to bring it out now, this would tank.
I tell you what it is. It's really funny as well because the first half of it.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, intriguing, yeah. And the second half of it's kind of goes a bit weird, but it's one of those train wrecks. You're like, I don't know. I'm not liking it, but at the same time, how much worse can it get?
Yeah.
And it keeps on getting worse, and you're like, you know what? Yeah. Let me just keep on seeing how much worse it can get.
Yes. Everyone, you've got a treat when we get to Ultimates 3 and.
Oh my goodness.
Or Mayhem. You've got a treat.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. All right. Yeah. So yeah.
If you've read this train wreck of the 2000s, let us know what you thought of it. Do you think it was shock value? Do you think it was interesting take for these characters of the time? What was your favorite moments of this? Was it horny Hulk and everyone being naked for no reason? Sorry, another problem I had. Janet being naked all the time. Why?
Okay, no. To be fair, her wasp clothing shrinks with her, right?
Yeah.
But when she's in casual clothing and has to shrink, nothing shrinks with her.
Yeah, I get that, but then, Spider-Man and stuff, he always has his costume under everything he's wearing. Why can't she have her costume under everything she's wearing?
Oh, well, to be fair, she was in the hospital gown at one time. Yeah. And the second time, she was dressed up to go to the dinner, so she wouldn't have had it under. So, but you're right. I mean, it's yeah.
Or at least have some other clothes she has. Like, she can have undergarments that that. You know what I mean? Like, how does the technology shrink? I mean, it's easily written in there, but...
Well, because this is a very strange thing of how she got closed out. How's the costume shrink with her?
Yeah.
But nothing else does.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Because I didn't even mind they made her a mutant. I thought it was pretty cool, but whatever. Sure. Which they never referred to ever again as well, but we'll go on about that later.
Exactly.
So, let us know, was you offended by this?
Loads of things where I'm like, exclamation marks just pop up in my head.
Yeah. So, let us know for our social medias and all that. I have been the angry naked man, Kyle Charles, and
I have been the man that you're trying to eat because I'm going out with your ex-girlfriend, toxic attraction of some degree, CY Chung.
And well, thank you once again for taking a trip with us around this ultimate multiverse. Catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Crumble under the blow of the mighty Mjolnir. I fear this brute won't be as obliging.
Betty, how can we stop him?
He won't stop until everyone's dead.
What about Bruce's medicine? Will it work on the Hulk?
Maybe, at 20 times the dose.
Go get as much as you can.